Hong Kong boys in there, but they've bolstered the side this year considerably with some excellent backs, none more so than Oka, Sanarivi and Pense. So we have a first line out, and on the far side, scrum, sorry.
Now I'm going to go out here on a limb quite early and back the UBB Gavekal. I've actually liked how they've played their games over the last couple of 2 days. It'd be quite good to see how they go in this final.
So, given that tip, then everyone get the money on the overseas old boys.
Clearly.
But no, I think this is going to be a good contest. I think the overseas old boys have shown they've been a far better quality side than I've seen in the past. Oka Sanarivi has been extremely strong, and number 14 James King has been a really difficult player to defend, and there's a lot of pace and power in that back line. Not so many of the old Hong Kong names. Yeah. No Woodwards as we normally expect in that side.
Yeah,
but I mentioned to Ken Woodward, him and his team who put together the sponsorship and the arrangements for the overseas old boys, and they do a fantastic job bringing them along every year.
Yeah.
And well done to Ken and his team. But the Gavekal and a bit of that was Vincent Fourgier, and barged through the middle there by Pense, and it's Ethan Searle who's been very, very good. And here's a bit of pace now. Here's the speedster Oka Sanarivi. One-on-one now at this point. Does he take him on? He goes inside the crossfield kick. It doesn't bounce well for them. Knock on. And at this point, it's still a scrum at the very least here. And you'd have fancied Oka Sanarivi to at least done a handoff or at least driven that further. Real risky play with the kick ahead at that point, but they have got the territory.
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen the replay for that. I thought, okay, he couldn't have gone on, but yeah, the kick ahead. And here we go, Fiji Airways, one of the big sponsors here at the GFI Tens.
So scrum in front of the UBB Gavekal posts. It's the first real pressure moment for the Gavekal defence. And it's going to be a battle between Ethan Searle and Chris Kapinski, who is swiftly on to Searle. Looping round Scott Deasy. Held him off well. Back to the big figure of James King. Down he goes. And across comes William Umu. Big tall figure. Number 13, Jack Nielsen. Some stepping, some lovely movement in the midfield there. Ooh, driven back strongly there by Vincent Fourgier, and it's out into the hands of Hirash Pense, through the hands to Hamish Patterson. Of course, Louis Hazelhurst would have been part of this side, but he was carried off at the end of the semi-final, and sad to see that. And there is Pense again, the big prop. Little dart by Searle, pulled down again around the fringes. Ball's back out. It's come to Adam Jones. Sanarivi's in there again. The pickup's good. James King, big powerful figure, has been very tough to stop. And Thomas Sukazi had to do everything he could there. The kick ahead is a little bit of a chase now. The opportunity's on. Kapinski goes down and he manages to pick that up in a fabulous bit of work by the Valley scrum half. Gavekal now up to the 22. And good momentum now by Gavekal. They've managed to get themselves out of position and into a position where they can move this forward. Kick ahead. Ball bounces freakishly and goes behind Rafael Carballo. Picked up again though by Seb Alfonsi. And Pense working hard on the counter ruck, but Angus Cameron, one of the real quality players in this side. Fourgier rolls, keeps the ball. Cameron keeps it alive, opens it up there. Across comes Rafael Caballero. Down goes the big figure of Jean-Baptiste Beris. And there's Chris Kapinski from Valley, directing traffic. He sees no option, so he takes a little dart through there. The release is good, the follow-up support is good, and Beris, free cycle ball. Alfonsi, this time it's Sukazi, great passage of play. 12 or so phases, and eventually penalising the overseas old boys. And excellent driving, controlled work by the Gavekal.
Yeah, let's just go all the way back. There we were, the old boys. They were trying to break through the 22. It's probably 6 or 7 phases of play. They couldn't get through. They went for the chip over the top. The UBB Gavekal boys, they've got it, and they were able to push through that old boy defence, and they're now back at the other end at their 22, which is fantastic. Be interesting now to see this next passage of play. That was brilliant. It looks like the old boys can't really break through the Gavekal defence, but Gavekal not really having that issue at the moment anyway with the old boys.
So Dane James will be looking at the middle of the line out for Fouget, or instead it's picked up by Berries and the rolling maul, and this is moving ominously towards the old boys line. Breaks up slightly, but it's still going, and there's 1 or 2 being peeled off.
Keep it together, fellas. Keep it rolling.
There we go, and it's been reformed, and it looks as if the old boys have managed to snuff that out. And the referee, and the decision is it's an uncompleted maul, and an opportunity there lost by the Gavekal, but it was looking as if they had momentum.
Yeah, it was lost. They were looking like they did have momentum. They're backing it down for another scrum. This Gavekal scrum is good. They've pushed basically the old boys all the way back to within 10 metres of their try line. It's a feed from the old boys. Gavekal are on it.
It's flicked out, and it's a long, risky pass there by DC, but it's worked well for them. And on the far side, a bit of pace. Kick ahead. Jack Nielsen, or Robert Sampson actually, and Sampson pulls down, and that was Fenn, sorry, Toby Fenn. I know there was a spelling mistake in it, so I was getting confused as to which letter to drop there.
There's spelling mistakes and there's number
a bash
mistakes.
on the head there, a bash right on the forehead for Jamie Tsang. And Jamie Tsang doesn't look as if he's in too great shape there. Took a bang on right on the forehead.
Well, this is where we were just a few minutes ago. The old boys on their 22 trying to get through the Gavekal defence. The line-out's about to start. Gavekal are going to put the feed in to the line-out.
So it's been a tense and certainly a close final so far. And one of the closest games we've seen with this intensity. No score. 8 minutes into this first half, and it's been one off the top. Kapinski's passing on a couple of occasions today been fairly weak. But it's a good, powerful run round the side here. Big figure of Benjamin Davey, who is a real star for Valley as well. Number 4 is Vincent Fouget. Ball popped down, and a turnover ball. Fouget adjudged to be holding on, and Matt Rodin not particularly happy with the player kicking the ball at him, but taking it in a sporting fashion, doesn't sink the card out. And we will see now kick for the corner. And sure enough, right into the corner there. Good play by Scott Deasy, the halfback. And the one thing when I see that A-Trade overseas shirt, it really does remind me of a basketball shirt. Harlem Globetrotters.
It does. The only thing also is it's very hard to see the numbers and who they're playing with. But you're right, look at the pink and white stripes as it goes down the side. And you are waiting for them to do it.
You can just imagine, you just in your mind. I'm back onto the game though. Number 3 is William Mou for the overseas old boys. Scrum half pulls it out there and out wide now, and this is where the pace and the power. King, James King, held up short. Ooh, lost forward. Referee has seen it, the knock on. It's an advantage, but we're going to have a scrum and an opportunity lost there. And I think a bit of an ankle knock.
It looks
for
like
James King.
Looks like a bit of an ankle knock there. It'd be interesting now to see how long this Gavekal defence holds on. The old boys, as I said before, were down on their 22 for quite a while. They're back down within a couple of metres now of the try line, and Gavekal are going to have to get back onto their defensive positions pretty quickly. Gavekal is at the end, and both teams have been playing
short
on.
of the nasty looking ankle injury, left ankle there. Just got dragged behind during the tackle. And James King, and he doesn't, he's in a bit of pain.
Look very happy, did he?
That looks as if that might be the end of his evening, and that will be a big loss for the A-Trade Overseas Old Boys.
Yeah.
He has been a powerful figure, and yeah, he is not coming back from that tonight.
No, he certainly got that right knee strapped up, and yeah, he can't even put any pressure whatsoever by the looks of it on that right ankle of his as we get back to the action. Gavekal feed within about 5 metres of their try line.
So Overseas Old Boys opportunity to put the drive on here. It's back on the other side though, and it's Fouget driving forward, taking a couple of yards. Actually, that's Benjamin Davey, been strong. And thank you. Matt Rodden decides that is a... So... Ooh. So kicked to touch, and 1 minute 47 seconds. There's still a bit of time in this half for someone to strike blood first.
It is, but it's all pretty close on both sides, really, isn't it? You know,
through the hands, Gavekal working it out from the back line. Angus Cameron caught in possession is Dave Vancouver. Offload from 17 is Angus Cameron. Once again, he has been outstanding. There is Toby Fenn, also prominent, another Valley flanker. And this time, Angus Cameron stepping through his way through the midfield. Offload to Kapinski. Looked like a forward handoff there. But Kapinski down again, winning it, rolling over. A lot of work there by Julien Pété to secure that. Fenn and a run for Seb Alphonse. Opportunity now in the corner. And dragged down surely, and a question mark whether that was actually knocked on, and I think it was knocked on. Number 3 is Thomas Sukazi, who perhaps should have backed himself to put it down. The offload, Fenn under tremendous pressure and unable to get it down, and really he was close to the line when he got there, and there was a big drive there, and yes, well spotted by Matt Rodden, who had a very good view of that. And so the UBB Gavekal now right down in front of the Overseas Old Boys try line. It is, however, a scrum. Jamie McGregor will put it in. It's an ugly one. It could be dangerous here. It's come out. It's been lost, and I think it's a try. And a really scrappy try to lose for the Overseas Old Boys. Number 12 is Thomas Lamboli, but it was a messy scrum. The Gavekal had the strength on it. The ball came out. The scrum half missed it, and it was on the ground, picked it up and dived over and scored.
Yeah, that's exactly what went on.
You don't see much of that.
Yeah, exactly. And I was just thinking, when they packed that scrum down, this is the true test of the Old Boys. How are their defence going to back up? Is the defence as good as the Gavekal guys were? You know, because the old Overseas Old Boys have attacked their line quite significantly. Are we able to put the 2 points on?
And Angus Cameron misses probably his first conversion of the day. Been very, very consistent. And so,
well, as we go
an
into
entertaining finish to that half. It's been very tight, very congested. Nobody's really had much space to play. Gavekal 5-point lead. Your thoughts over the first half, and what do you foresee coming in the second half?
Yeah, clearly I thought that Gavekal would have put on a little bit better of a performance, but what I thought was remarkable about that is that the Old Boys tried and tried and tried. They sat down there on that 22 for maybe 8 or 9 passages of play. As I said, they tried the kick ahead and try and get over the top of the defence. Gavekal came back and nearly scored a try. I think at the moment the Gavekal defence has proven itself. I'm not really convinced yet of the Overseas Old Boys defence. I think what will happen now, it'll just see how much the defending is taken out of Gavekal, but I suspect that with that little bit of momentum going into the half-time break, I think they're going to come up on top. I think they'll probably be a little bit hungrier, and I think you'll see a bit more of a disciplined Gavekal as we go into the second half. just about to kick off here. Gavekal will be receiving.
Well, welcome back if you're just joining us on Now TV live and on the YouTube channel. The first time the GFI Hong Kong Tens has been live on YouTube globally, and it's been a tremendous tournament so far. We're into the bowl final at this point. Gavekal leading the A-Trade Overseas All Boys by 5 points to 0. Fabulous layoff by Vincent Fouget, and Angus Cameron running the shoulder line and straight up the field. Easy score, and all of a sudden a quick start here, and UBB Gavekal now have a decent lead, and it could be a 12-point-0 lead. Lovely handoff, poor defence, and then Angus Cameron's pace.
Yeah, as I said, it just looks like given them a little bit of room and put them into an attacking position, Gavekal, I think, might just continue to go away with this. The old boys, they've been working, they've been attacking, but just really nothing's been rewarded so far in this bowl final.
So Kapinski with the conversion opportunity, and that was scored, and the kickoff now is being fielded by the Overseas All Boys. Johnny Hilton spinning it wide. Kapinski rolling out of there. And Searle playing right on the gain line, but they're going to get an advantage on it. He breaks through, takes territory. Good darting run there. Searle, kick ahead, and an opportunity now out wide. And the big lock forward on that occasion didn't have the subtle football skills that we see from some of the other players. And William Umu butchers a really good opportunity to bring the old boys back into this.
Yeah, there wasn't much subtle at all about that. So Gavekal going into the line-out.
So, but they won that line-out, but it bounced back off and of power, and Ben Davey absolutely sprinting upfield. The chase is on, and back goes, and he doesn't back himself, but it's an easy run in for Rafael Carbello. Great chase by Johnny Hilton, who matched the pace and was actually catching. So much so that Ben Davey didn't fancy the run himself, but what a fantastic run. The Valley flanker, and Dyrese was talking very highly with him, and he's been a really good ball carrier all day for the Gavekal, and that pretty much seals the bowl final. The Overseas All Boys struggling to score so far, and it looks as if they haven't got 3 tries in them.
No, I don't think so. I think Gavekal, with the defence that they've displayed, and certainly their attack, 2 very quick tries from the breakdown, and basically both tries nearly full length of the field tries, just show the form that these guys are in. You must remember as well, it might be the first time that we've had a top 14 team from France represented, but they are that good, and it's clearly showing today.
So Gavekal in control and with the possession back again. Chris Kapinski of Hong Kong's Valley, number 17, Richard Sampson, has been another player who's been very difficult to tie down. Valley's Davey has been fantastic, and it's probably fair to say the start of this second half, it was very even first half, but now it is very much a one-way traffic, and comfortably in front, Gavekal, and justifiably in front. So the A-Trade Overseas Old Boys, managed by Ken Woodward. His team looked as if they were down and out in the semi-final, but suddenly they came back. But in this one, against a quality Gavekal side who have defended well, it looks a little bit, there's a break down the middle now. It's a straight run now. Hilton, has he got the pace? He's looking around. Across comes the cover. He's pulled back, but the following support, and it's still a pop-up required. It's gone back, and a try, and a fantastic score and dotted down after 4 different individuals had ball in hand, but a great bit of continuity.
Yeah, I think
There we go. And Hilton didn't quite fancy his chances against Alfonsi. Penzi gets pulled down short, popped up, it was touched, and then diving over was the big figure of Robert Sampson.
Yeah, it'd be interesting
Big
now.
Robert Sampson. So, well, we were writing off the overseas old boys, but they have, and I just said that Ken Woodward seems to just put the hex on teams about this point in the second half.
That's true, and I think what they just caught Gavekal sort of napping a bit there. I saw behind the post there, Sebastian Alfonse for Gavekal just saying, look boys, we've got to calm this down, let's just have a look at things that's going on. They have to regroup very, very quickly, otherwise in this sort of format it can get away from them. They were caught napping then.
Continues, and it's been shipped out. Kapinski, Cameron, and Cameron showing real quality. 2-on-1, surely Kapinski under the posts, and this pretty much closes down the comeback. Fabulous piece of work. Angus Cameron, undoubtedly one of the really great players that turns up each year, plays for different sides in the tournament.
Yeah, that's
and once again showing so much quality. Played for the I think it was the APB last year, scored a couple of tries in the final, and top quality performer, and he's been a catalyst alongside Kapinski and Ben Davey. It's been a real Valley plus Angus Cameron drive by the team.
yeah.
So now well on top, and scoreline 24-7, and it really does now look, with only 5 minutes left, again a really big challenge. Good take, and through the hands, and again some good work and a really good defensive tackle there. But again, there's some good pace being shown by the I think that's okay, Sanarivi. Really good miss pass, and there's an opportunity out wide here now. Across comes a little tackler there. He has to do a fairly big job on him. Umu does a good job on this occasion. There's Penzi driving over, quick ball, spun a little bit too quick by the figure of Jamie McGregor, and they've had to restart a little bit, lost a bit of ground on that, but it's another good bit of continuity, keeping the phases going. The handoff, the little scissors, the little show, opportunity here, and again it's clumsy bits of work. Drop it. That was a poor pass again by William Umu there. Teammate not aware of what was happening, not watching, but it's gone straight to ground.
Yeah, it has, and they're just not watching the play. They're just trying to be a little bit too tricky, to be bluntly honest. They just got to play the game, get the phases through. It's proven, they've proved time and time again they can actually break this Gavekal defence, and if they had just sort of phase ball and just kept on pushing, I think it would have been much more successful than loose passes out through the back line.
So 3 minutes and 44 seconds left. Gavekal, ball in hand, and it's Nicolas Chamouton and Ben Davey again, eager for work, driving through the midfield, penalised for holding on this occasion. And there's ball goes wide again, through the hands, this time the opportunity. Sampson dancing through. Ben Jessup there on that one as well. Opportunity here, offload. And Fenn's gone in there, Toby Fenn, and it's been cleared by Kapinski. And a good clearing touch finder. And the pressure now being relieved. 2 minutes and 46. And substitutions happening.
Yeah, the time slowly ticks away, all clearly in UBB Gavekal's favour.
And it's been picked up though by the overseas old boys. Long pass through the hands. Oh, Samson there caught in possession, and he's under a lot of pressure now. Ball comes back through the hands. Pensy can't hold it. It's been knocked forward again. The overseas old boys can't touch it, and away goes number 12, who is Thomas Lamboli. He's pulled back. 7, Ben Davey. Again, a flick by an overseas old boy, but it's going to be in the corner here. And a comfortable, looked like it was going to be a comfortable score. Number 12 is Lamboli, and he started it all, but it's not clear if he actually got the finishing touch on that one.
A few questions being asked as well. And yes, that is a try. Gavekal 29, old boys 7, less than 2 minutes to go. Nice little flick pass out there, pushes through, and asking the question for a knock on, I think it was back there. But the try has been awarded. The referee doesn't have the advantage of a play. So Willie at the points, 24-7 as we go into the last minute. Had the direction, but certainly didn't have the weight. So 29-7, minute 10 go.
Did he give a score? The score was given.
Yep.
So I wasn't quite watching.
Putting it 29 points to 7. Over 8 trade, overseas old boys.
So Chris Kapinski, it's been a busy day for him. He started very early, one of the early starters. I think the 11 o'clock game this morning. And overseas old boys down. And we just haven't seen Oka Sanarivi. And he's been shackled in this match, no space to run. Good long pass. And there's Jessup again. Umu playing down this right flank. He's kicked it in the right direction this occasion, but it's wasted. Number 12 is Lambuli, and penalised for holding on. And it's getting a little bit heated. Things going on in the breakdown. There is the pace of Sanarivi. Definitely, I think James King's departure hasn't helped the overseas old boys. And so Matt Rodden waves on, probably the last play of this match. And it's going to be a shield win, or a ball win, sorry, for the Gavekal. I know, a yellow card. A yellow card with 0 on the clock.
That's interesting.
0 on the clock. And surely a score now for the overseas old boys. The charge, the drive, it's not enough support. Still an opportunity to pick and go. Held up. And William Umu gets over, and a consolation try should bring it up to 29-12. And that is it. Excellent finish, and I think a fairly comfortable victory and a good second half by Gavekal. It's made all the difference.
Yeah, it did start off exactly the way I thought it would start off, but clearly the second half I thought was played pretty much how it was. The old boys, they tried emphatically to get across the